Yes.
How's it going?
Happy Tuesday. Is when this is coming out. Tuesday. Gonna be a long week. I don't know why I said that. It's gonna be a good
very
week.
underrated.
It's gonna be fine. Everything's
It's gonna be a good sunny week.
Everything's been fine. We're off to a weird start already. It's
Flowers
good.
are blooming. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's good.
It is nice. But are we skipping spring? Are we just going straight to summer? Because I think it's like we had the nice weather for felt like maybe half a week, and now it's gonna be hot.
It was cold. I did
cold?
I live in the city. Let me take the trolley to the station here.
Because we're downtown.
I don't need
Yeah.
to drive and pollute. And about 2 blocks in, I immediately regretted it. It was gusty. Felt like it was 35 degrees out. It's like, nope, should have driven. Definitely should have driven. But
how was the streetcar though? Other people were on it, or
a lot of people wearing purple. So I don't know if there's a Kansas State thing or
that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I think is there a softball thing
There's always
or a
something,
thing? There's
which
always
is
something.
Why this city's thriving.
Yeah.
There's always somebody here from not Kansas City.
That's true.
That's why the trolley's there.
Well, a good rule of thumb: if you see someone on the trolley on Friday Saturday or Sunday, they're either not from Kansas City or they're from Johnson County.
Okay. Yeah.
Monday through Friday, that's the people that kind of live in the city that are actually using the trolley. Typically,
That makes sense. They're kind of like taking it to work
they
or
want to
something.
come in.
maybe.
They want to get that city vibe of parking at Crossroads and then riding a trolley down to buy strawberries and flowers.
Yeah.
And then riding the trolley back to their car where they parked.
That's a fun day.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm
Day.
just saying, move to the city if you love it so much. We need you.
Yeah. That is true. We do need you down here.
We need you so they don't build a fucking stadium down here.
It's coming. You'll be able to see it. It's right there. It'll be.
Okay, because it's like they keep talking about where it's like they're entertaining these different areas where it might go, but like this whole time they know where it's going, right? Like their mind's made up.
I think that is a way to negotiate down a price.
Okay.
When they're like,
Where it's like maybe we'll do it in North Kansas
I
City.
mean, if I had my preference, I'd move it down to 22nd over by Children's Mercy.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's not a lot going down the East Crossroads, if you will. Not
Yeah.
East Village, that's up here.
Yeah.
East Crossroads. And then it would widen out the city that way instead of slamming a stadium right here where there's already urban stuff going around. If you push it way down there, that kind of doubles the impact of
They
a
already
downtown.
said that if they do it downtown, they have not thought of where anybody would park. So people would have to utilize the trolley or literally walk miles to get to the stadium. It makes no sense to me that a franchise, 2 teams that have made their entire brand based off of tailgating,
Right.
why they would choose to have it anywhere that could not have tailgating.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me want to cry.
And like it's so cool that like, yeah, we have the Royals and the Chiefs in the same parking lot. That's gonna go away. I don't know. And that's that whole area. It's like that stadium area. Like, I mean, maybe put money into like investing around that area and
I'd
making
say
like
take Kaufman, turn it into the best driving, the best top golf in the world.
okay.
/ build some condos in there. Super Chiefs fans from all over the country are going to buy a condo in that building just so they can super tailgate 8 times a year plus playoffs.
Yeah.
So rich dudes are going to have no problem dropping $300,000 on that. Build out some shops or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Chiefs would leave just because of what the Hunt lineage there and all the memories from Clark Hunt talks about when he was a kid and seeing his dad walk through the halls.
It makes my
and all that
heart
stuff.
hurt if it ever.
But the
Well, and
Royals-
it's like it's the loudest stadium in like the world, right? Like they don't want to
shouldn't.
screw with
No,
that.
they don't want to move to Olathe. That's
like
just not.
other teams would probably love it if they moved. I'm sure.
Oh.
because they don't want to play an Arrowhead.
Get rid of get rid of that advantage, or at least knock it down. Now to the crowded, I lived in downtown San Diego where they did have Padres. Parking was a little scarce, but it's a minor inconvenience to walk like 8 blocks. But if you blocked out the back of the parking lot, the Chiefs, it's 7 blocks till you get to the stadium probably.
Yeah.
But and they had a trolley in San Diego, which would dump off fans. But there are some inconveniences. But there's something about also leaving the game and then your night doesn't end because you're waiting to get out of a parking lot. You're like, oh, let's go get steaks.
Yeah.
Let's go get tacos and then go catch the end of that concert that's happening, at the Midland or whatever.
Yeah.
All that. Or, maybe I'll move downtown. That way I'll drive a lot less. And then by then the trolley goes down to Westport or whatever. But And I think the average attendance is 14,000 at a Royals game. So who are these people? They're not going to the games anyway. So I don't. If you didn't go to 20 games last year, your opinion about parking does not matter. You're not there right now. So why am I worried about if you're going to go 10 years from now? Because you're not there right now.
Yeah,
Sure.
that is what I've told other people. They're just like, when they ask me how I feel about it, I'm just like, well, if the Royals move downtown, I'll go to the same number of baseball games that I always go to, which is none, because I don't.
Come on, none.
Yeah, I don't like that's the thing. I'm going to go to one this year.
Now. They've shortened the games.
I heard that the pitch clock now.
I love baseball games.
Yeah,
I love baseball. Baseball is like the most romantic sport. Kauffman, I mean, they just installed that Jumbotron post World Series win.
Yeah.
Why are we gonna? I mean, I know that these these mock-ups that they're showing are from some company in Taiwan who is literally just showing the most generic stadium.
Right. And they don't get it because there's no fountains in any of the mock-ups.
There's no fountains. Yeah. There's no Jumbotron with a crown on top.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to need to have those things that are familiar for fans to keep wanting to go, because honestly, the city rallied around the Royals when they were winning, but now that they're not, it feels like nobody cares.
And they're not getting better. They're off to a very slow start.
And they're off
today,
to a
very today too. But
they always seem to do really well in like that was like preseason. I don't know what they call it in baseball.
The spring training.
Yeah, spring training.
Cactus League champions.
The Cactus
this year.
League. Yeah, they were like really good.
The thing with that record is you'll be facing a pitcher whose coach is like, you cannot throw your fastball today, which is that guy's strikeout pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And so that guy's then forced to throw sliders, changeups, and curveballs, which he doesn't have. So
Sure.
That's why the Royals would explode for 13 runs, is because some pitcher has to throw 25 curveballs, regardless of what's happening. And so that's why you get those inflated.
Okay, so that's
records.
how that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why no one, if you look back, the Royals record in spring training, phenomenal. They win 3 out of every 4 games because they have to try so hard. Everyone there's trying to make the team because they're not really good players, and everyone's a fringe player in the Royals organization. So everyone's really trying their hardest versus other organizations that already have like, hey, we've got our 6 starters. We're just trying to fill 3 spots. It's a lot. Anyway. That's a long
smaller window.
Yeah.
Smaller window.
Yeah. But no, I want to talk about one thing before we get into Nug Life and the comedy festival, which is that I saw you guys after the fact that you guys were both at the Bad Friends show with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. I was also there.
That was, oh my God, that was awesome.
That was so
you were there?
I was there. Oh. So I saw you guys post a picture. I was like, oh shit, I was there too. Okay.
We were all in the same section. Yeah. Get this. So me and my boyfriend, we used to live in an apartment around the corner from the Uptown. We parked, we walk across.
Yeah.
I see John. He just took a shot over at Hamburger
I was at Hamburger
Mary's.
I'm waiting for my wife who's out with her friends. So I'm interrupting her girls' night out. I'm like, get over here.
He sees me down the way. Me and my boyfriend walk up. And then we were like, we'll see you inside. And then sure enough, we sit down. The Josey went up, performed, and then y'all came in right after. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Right next to
each other.
Wow.
We literally were like in an impromptu date, double date that night.
Yeah. I mean, what is it, 1,500 seats or however many?
Yeah.
Did they have the balcony up there?
Yeah, they had it filled up.
Wow. Okay.
It was like a sold out show.
Yeah. That was so I guess that was a 1 in 800 chance that would have happened.
Yeah. That we ended up on a double date together without any prior conversation.
I was seeing all sorts of friends walking by outside. I walked up and then Boss Hooligan Rico was on security. I was like, Rico, what's up, man?
My guy.
I'm an old school reggae guy, so I love that guy.
But that was a really fun show that I didn't know what to expect either, because I didn't know if it was just going to be a live podcast, what it was going to be. But it was totally, it was a mix of stand-up. They both did their own sets, Santino and Bobby Lee.
Everybody was so funny. Josey was so funny.
She was hilarious.
She is so dry. I loved that people finally got warmed up to her after a few things.
Yeah.
Her rape joke was great. I thought it was hilarious because it was very obvious.
Big shout out to Carlos Herrera. Great. He was the guy running around with the microphone.
Okay,
no kidding.
He was working very hard.
Comedian, but he produces a lot of podcasts now. But the way that they've implemented the audience and the Q&A and
it was seamless.
The court system.
He was running.
If you're traveling, get a chance to see the Bad Friends podcast live. Because especially for those diehard fans, that opportunity to wait in that line and just ask that one question, or
they got to like 10 people, so if you can scurry up there, you'll get to talk to them.
But Carlos, great job, man. You're crushing it, and it was a great show. I heard multiple people around us like, "This is the best live comedy thing I've ever seen." Because
that courtroom thing that they did when Josey put on her white wig, it
was so good.
It was like, it was so camp, it was so silly, so fun.
Well, it was cool. And like they had like a QR code before the show started that you could like scan, so it's like you could like submit your case.
That's
right there in the audience, and then
there were some juicy ones too. Like the tea was spilt. There was one girl who was like, "Why is my boyfriend?" They were all couples.
The Snapchat.
Yeah, the Snapchat one. And everybody was like, "Get his ass." There's no reason.
The final judgment was like so the husband was still following on Snapchat his old friend from high school. So they were like, "All right, you have to unfollow
She just sends me pictures of her kids."
Yeah. They're like, "You can
follow those kids.
Follow her on Instagram. You got to unfollow her on Snapchat." I was like, "That's good ruling."
Yeah.
No, it was great though, and I hadn't
ruling.
seen Santino or Bobby in years, and so I'm in like good shape right now. So I came in, they're like, "Holy shit, you look happy? How you're like, what's going on?" I'm like, I moved out of LA 2 years ago. I'm loving life's a lot.
They were
easier.
so nice.
Yeah, no.
I've met Andrew like in passing at Comedy Club on State. I didn't try to pretend like he remembered me or that we were old buddies. I was just pretending like I had met him for the first time. And I talked to Bobby, and he was so nice as well.
And I was happy when Bobby actually was like, "I'm putting out a special." Finally,
I know.
The best, like that was the best I've seen him do stand up for years. Like
everybody was having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like obviously the performers and the audience, which is what you want out of a show. And also the Uptown is just gorgeous. They were really impressed by the Uptown.
They love Kansas City.
Yeah. Right. And that's like a multiple mic show, they're doing like panels and stuff. And like you said with Carlos, it was just like a really well ran show.
Yeah.
The little set that they had like set up and like the background and everything, that was so cool.
They just came out and flipped it down. It's like, oh, look at that transition.
Done.
Right into the next
was perfect.
thing.
There were sing-alongs. Bobby's ball sack was on a fold-out chair at one point, rubbing it on somebody's chair.
Some
it was
audience
great.
interaction with that as well.
I loved it. It was so much fun.
It was such a good show. Yeah.
Where did you go for pizza, by the way?
Lucky Boys.
Lucky Boys has pizza?
Well, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm like, wait, it's Thursday. And they're like, what, you guys hungry? What do you want? And I'm like, you want pizza? And they're like, yeah, sounds great. They were actually.
I saw you guys went to Lucky Boys.
So we went down for pizza, and they were like, this is perfect place. Like, just really calm. No one really messed with them. Some people got pictures like as they were leaving, but they were like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Santino ended up on a rooftop down in Westport with like his college friends.
Yeah.
A little more clubby vibe, which Carlos and Bobby were like, No. Because for them, it's like, did you leave? That's Hollywood to go to like the Midwest version of a Hollywood thing.
I know.
It's kind of, backwards ish.
But
it
makes sense.
You want to go to a dive bar? I got recommendations.
They were laughing. I was like, you guys want to move? You can still get a house here for $250. And they were just like, what? What? I'm like, in a nice one. They're like, Bobby's like, why would I move here? I'm like, I'm just saying, hypothetically.
Excellent question.
Hypothetically.
It's good to travel out of, We got the new airport now.
No, it's a lot better.
We're pretty centrally located.
I mean, I wasn't kidding. The last 2 years have been fantastic, and just having more time to be creative. That's like this comedy crawl that's coming up. Like that wouldn't have happened without any, just.
That's the perfect segue. Let's talk about that. How did this come about?
It started with Hillsiders, great bar in Strawberry Hill. I do a monthly show there.
So fun.
Since November. It's awesome on the first Tuesday, 7 p.m. And then you've got 403 that's been doing mics and shows forever. And then Mockingbird Lounge, same thing.
Best patio in Kansas City, in my opinion.
A great community. And it's so like hyper local and within like a 4x5 block area in the Strawberry Hill, KCK. And so was talking with Slintz and Evan, and I was like, hey, what do you guys think about possibly? I didn't want to step on toes, so I just talked to them, and they were like, yeah, no, that's great. And then the hardest part was just putting the lineup together because there's just so much talent. When I came back to town, that was what made it real easy to put these shows on. Was like, oh, here's a bunch of funny people, almost like a never-ending supply. And then a few people move on, and I'm sad, like, damn, no more Dorian DeBose. Okay. No more Dayton Bissett. All right, that's fine. No more Joe. No more Joe Nunnick. Okay. But those guys all, get up when they come back through town. But
sure.
With the amount of talent, the amount of like just yeses. You know, people were all in when I approached people about it and made it easy to put together. But structured as a 1 p.m. show at Mockingbird, a 3 p.m. show at 403, and then a 5 p.m. show at Hillsiders. So tickets are on Eventbrite. They're $35 for like all 3 shows, or $15 individually. But that's on the 29th April.
Comedy Crawl.
Comedy Crawl. Yeah, and no one apparently has done anything similar to this. And so
it's a cool idea, and like Strawberry Hill is such like a fun area.
Yes,
and I feel like now I hate the term glow up, but I feel like it's been on the come up for a little bit. Yeah. And I feel like people keep opening more cool businesses, more bars. Like
there's and it's all
fixing up houses over there, and
it's so cool.
Living in
and
them.
It's still affordable. I mean, I thought about there was a house on 7th Street that was $120,000. It was just a little too small, but I was like, man, then this close to like maybe buying that house.
Well, yeah, and like affordable to like start a business too, from what I understand. Like talking to Dain, who owns the Mockingbird and has opened up another bar there that's a sports betting bar.
That's
it's just like
that's right.
They're just like he's like it's able to afford it. You can like make money, and it's so cool. And I love, speaking of like hole in the wall bars, what is the Easy Inn? I love that spot. That's a cool little bar there in Strawberry Hill. That's just such a cool area. So that's gonna be like just a fun show to do. And there's 3 shows.
Yeah, 3, and then the list more. The way it's set up is I was like, a Fresh Faces is the 1 p.m. show. These are like your best, just kind of, I don't want to say just starting out comics, but just a nice lineup.
The lily pad about to pop off. Yeah.
But doing shorter sets. So I think there's like 10 or 11 comics doing 5 to 6 minute sets. The 3 p.m. show, it's really a lot of headliners. That's the one at 403. And then the 5 p.m. show, I kind of stacked up people I felt they could handle drunk people really well. And so
more of the crowd work, loosey-goosey crowd.
So that's the Hillsider show. But no, it's been great, and just the support from the local comedy scene. And, I'd like to do it maybe at the end of the summer, but not.
I hope you do it again, because I want to be able to do it.
I know. There's hopefully won't have any bridal parties with the next one.
My friends are unlovable monsters. This is the first bachelorette party I've ever been on.
Oh, really?
Which I'm like, of course, that's whenever it lines up. But yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
No, it'll be good. And if there was one at the end of the summer, I want to do it in such a way that it's not going to conflict with Fountain City, because that's right. Like, I think the second week of October. So maybe, if you
do it in September or August, I think that would be enough of a
August,
difference. Plus, it's a good way to highlight mostly local people without having, because oftentimes with festivals, whether you like it or not, you want, outside people to apply and get in and be able to perform. But then you also have people in your city that you want to be featured and to be able to meet people outside if they don't normally travel. But not everybody can get into a festival. So it's a really good way to like feature everybody and have it be this like unity sort of thing. I've got a
camera crew coming. We're going to document a lot of it, if not as much of it as possible, and just see what that looks like. But I really was interested in just kind of capturing that scene and that moment and that day, and seeing what that might look like in like a 20 to 30 minute documentary.
For sure.
With the right budget and the right editing, I mean, you could put anything on Amazon.
For
sure. Yeah.
And submit to
and that'd be a great way to promote the next one you do too.
And then ultimately just that the city has got a lot of hidden talent. I mean, I will say hidden talent. Like, there's so many comics here that could go anywhere around the country. And, if you flip a random headliner, with the feature, they'd be able to just take that baton and you wouldn't really notice a difference at all. Or if they were featuring, they would leave and be like, why weren't you headlining?
Yeah.
You were a lot better than the headliner. But there's so many comics like that are either there right now or approaching, that level here in the next couple of years. So, it's an exciting time to be doing comedy here in town.
Yeah. Well, and it's a good thing to do something like this too, because I have a buddy who one of my friends loves to go to the comedy clubs. Like go to the Improv and go to Dustin's, the comedy club in Kansas City.
Great club.
But doesn't know about local shows, right? Because doesn't really know how to find out about them or know about them or whatever. So the fact that there's a thing that he can go to that's being advertised that people can find out about, it's like, oh, this would be a great way to see local comics, other than just going to a comedy club where you're only going to see 1 or 2 local people open up the show, and then you can see multiple people from the scene and you know, you're going to get cheaper drinks at these bars than you are at the Improv or Comedy Club.
And you might find a new favorite, local bar that you didn't.
Yeah.
Two out of the 3 places have food, and there are an endless amount. Like you said, Strawberry Hill and KCK have so many local businesses, delicious food that are walkable if you've been drinking, or, you can hit with your car. Don't do that.
Yeah, get on a scooter and drive into something.
Yeah.
But no, so it's going to be great. So comedycrawl.eventbrite.com.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, April 29th starts at 1 o'clock, probably maybe noon. I'll be there at least at noon, getting everything going at Mockingbird. But yeah, it should be done around 6:30. So just a nice full afternoon. It's third day of the draft, so it's like you're tired of watching NFL guys, collect millions. Come on over to KCK.
Everybody go for me, since I can't go or be a part of it. Please go for me.
Because I was going to say incredible. Too. I make a real awkward thing after all my shows. I pull out my phone and I make the audience. I suggest that they follow the comics, because like your friend that solves that problem. It's like, man, I really loved Jake Redpath. It's like, oh sweet, he's at Mockingbird, he's at Mini Bar. And then so listeners, watchers, viewers at home, do that. Like, just seek out these local comics, people that made you laugh. And then go watch them. Be that, sometimes just having that extra 4 people come in off the streets makes the huge difference with the audience in a show. And the tickets are usually like $10 if you're not at a major club. So.
Or pay what you can sometimes.
That's true. Yeah. Throw a donation in. Not gonna.
I have so many friends that put on free shows.
Totally.
Yeah. That's.
Just trying to get people to come out. I know how that goes. Yeah, it's free. Exactly. Come on.
We're funny, we promise.
That's why I'm always like, not an open mic. It is booked.
These are shows.
I will validate all these comedians.
Okay. So, John, you're going to come back for tomorrow's show. So we'll talk more about Nug Life and more about the comedy festival then. But where can people find you online and the festival and all that stuff?
At